Yeah, don't forget, in the case of reading and use of English, this is divided in 7 sections. The first one, remember, it's gonna be complete the gaps. What you gotta do, you gotta read and you gotta choose the right word in order to complete each gap. I don't think this is difficult for you. We have done exercise like this before. You just gotta read carefully, understand the context, and according to what you get, according to what you read, identify what is the right word for that gap. Number 1. Part number 2, I guess that you remember, it's pretty the same, but in this case, remember, no choice. For this exercise, you have to read, and according to what you read, you have to write the word that you believe is the most suitable for this gap. Part number 2. In the case of part number 3, I guess that you remember, we gotta make word transformation. Do you remember, David, what do we have to do in part number 3?
Put the correct form of verb.
Excellent, right? Remember, you have to transform the verb so it matches, it suits in that gap. For example, in 0, until recently, the existence, we don't have to use the exact word, we gotta transform it. Until recently, the existence of planets outside our own solar system was difficult to prove. Remember, you gotta do exactly the same with the 8 words. You gotta change it, you gotta transform it from its original form. Okay, part number 3. Part number 4, what you gotta do here, in this case, remember, you gotta make a sentence so it has the same meaning as the first sentence. Okay, here you got the example. On holiday, I prefer going sightseeing to relaxing on the beach. On holiday, I prefer going sightseeing to relaxing on the beach. What you gotta do, remember, you gotta create a sentence and you gotta use the word given here, the word involved, rather. So remember, use that word and add more words so the second sentence has the same meaning as the first. On a holiday, I would rather go sightseeing than relax on the beach. On a holiday, I would rather go sightseeing than relax on the beach. Okay, you remember any question here?
No.
No, it's clear?
Yes.
Okay, super. Let's move on to the next. And let's see, part number 5. Yeah, part number 5, I believe that is the most common, the easiest one. It's comprehension, reading and comprehension. You gotta read an article and then you gotta answer 6 questions about that article. Okay, so it's not a big deal here. I guess that you have done exercise like this before. We have done actually exercise like this in class, so it's not a big deal here. Part number 5. And the last ones, part number 6 and part number 7. In part number 6, remember, you gotta complete the gap. But in this case, no with the word, you gotta choose a sentence. Okay, can you see the gaps? There are 6 gaps, and here you got some sentences. What you gotta do, you gotta complete it with one of the sentences given below. Okay?
Yes, in this part, it is important the context verb.
Exactly. I guess that you remember the context. What else?
Main opinion, main idea.
The main idea.
This.
Exactly. Essentially that. Remember that each paragraph has its main idea. According to what is the main idea in each paragraph, You have to choose, you have to select the word, the sentence that you need in order to complete it. Okay?
Okay.
Sure, that's the next. Let's go with the last ones. That is part number 7. And then we start with writing section. Well, part number 7, what you gotta do here, remember, in part number 7, you have 4 articles, 4 events, the world's strangest annual events, Sadie Grossman, Charlie Trainer, Joe Haythorpe, and Louisa Dark. Here you got 4 articles, and what you gotta do, oh, wait. Here it is, okay? You gotta identify which person mentions these things, okay? These statements. The possibility of people at the event having their belongings stolen, regretting being without an item of protective equipment, the bravery of the people who took part, a warning about organizing a trip to the event. Yeah, all of them, okay? Can you see it? We got 10 sentences, so what you gotta do? You gotta match to the right person. What you gotta do here actually in this part is not difficult. You just gotta identify the word that you got in the question. And for sure, in the article, you may find them the same word or maybe some synonyms or similar expressions. So what you gotta do is focus on that, identify what is it, synonym or similar expressions. Okay?
Okay.
Excellent. And let's get ready because we are going to start today with the writing section. In the case of writing. Okay, for writing, remember that this is divided in 2 parts. The first part number 1, it's all about an essay. What is an essay? Have you heard that word before? What is an essay, David?
Un ensayo.
Excellent. Remember, an essay, it's a text, is like an article where you are gonna write maybe about your opinion and maybe about information that you know. What is the difference if you compare to the rest? Remember that essay usually requires real information. So you gotta use the information that you know about that topic and write about it. If you compare to the story, if you compare to the letter, to the email, in the story, you may use fiction. It's not necessary that you use real information, but in the case of essay, remember, the information gotta be real. Obviously, in this case, is an essay, for example, you usually need to talk you usually need to say your opinion about it, or we can call it your point of view. Since this is personal, remember, you gotta express your point of view. Real information, and then for sure, your point of view. So, any question?
No.
No? Okay. Tell me, in the past, David, have you ever written an essay?
In Spanish, yes. In English, I don't.
In Spanish, yes, but in English, no, haven't?
No, no haven't.
Okay, but actually, you're going to realize that it's pretty the same. The same structure of an essay in Spanish is the same in English. What you got here, let me give you an idea of this. Let me give you an example of this, and then we're going to identify what is that about, okay? All the essays are usually divided in 4 parts. All the essays are usually divided in 4 parts. And as we read, we are going to identify what are those parts. So can you help me? Let's start with number 1, please, David. Can you read it?
People see adverts for junk food, such as a burger and chocolate bar on their TV screens every day. Although there are problems with people eating too much junk food, banning adverts for it is not necessarily the answer.
All right, so what is this? The first part, remember, is like an introduction. An introduction to the topic that you're going to talk about. In this case, what is? Can you see it? Well, what you gotta answer, should adverts for junk food be allowed on TV? In this case, they are giving the introduction about it, about the adverts for junk food. And of course, what are the problems about it? There are problems with people eating too much junk food. And for sure, what is the opinion if banning adverts is necessary or not? Because that is the question. Should adverts for junk food be allowed on TV or should they be banned? Allowed or banned, that is what we're going to check. That is exactly what we are going to answer with this essay. Okay, so remember in the first part, you are going to give in the introduction, like a brief review about what is the topic about. Okay, the introduction, remember, a brief review about what is the topic about.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay.
Let's go with number 2. Can you read, please? Paragraph number 2.
It's true that eating junk food can have a bad effect on people's health. Eating food that contain a lot of fat or sugar can make people overweight and cause health problems such as heart attacks. Moreover, advertising can have a very strong effect on children, especially if adverts use popular cartoon characters. This can encourage them to develop unhealthy eating habits.
Excellent, David. So in paragraph number 2, what do we have? Here you are going to start presenting facts. What are facts? Remember, real information about the topic. It is for real. We all know, right? Eating junk food can have a bad effect on people's health. Obviously, eating foods that contain a lot of fat or sugar can make people overweight and cause health problems such as heart attacks. And something that we know about it, it's that advertising can have a very strong effect on children, especially if adverts use popular cartoon characters. This can encourage them to help develop unhealthy habits. All what is given here, remember, is real information. Facts, remember, real information about what we know. Okay, that is number 2. Let's carry on. Can you help me? Number 3, please. Go. Continue, David.
On the other hand, eating junk food from time to time is not bad for your health and can be nice on special occasions. Imagine a day at the seaside without an ice cream or a birthday celebration without a box of chocolates. Without advertising, people wouldn't have good choice for these products.
All right. So tell me, what do we have here? If you compare to paragraph number 2, what do we have here?
My opinion.
Excellent. Like an opinion and at the same time like a contrast. Because in paragraph number 2, they say all what is negative about junk foods. Obviously for your health, for children's, for your eating habits. But in paragraph number 3, it is more like a contrast. Because it's not that junk food is always bad. Okay, not always. As you could see, from time to time is not bad for your health. Can be nice on special occasions. Right? For example, when you are by the beach, when you have a birthday celebration, obviously, it's important also to express the other hand. The one hand, remember the negative effects, and the other hand, the positive effects. Yes or no?
Yes.
Excellent. And the last paragraph, number 4. Can you read, please?
In my view, the most important thing is to educate children about the importance of a healthy diet. In this way, they can enjoy junk foods occasionally, but also stay with unhealthy, fit and healthy.
Unhealthy. Okay, so what is the point? What do we have in paragraph number 4?
In this case, this is the personal opinion on my point of view.
Excellent, right? Opinion, your personal opinion. What do you think about it? Okay, and for sure, a conclusion. In my view, the most important thing is to educate children about the importance of healthy diets. In this way, they can enjoy junk food occasionally, but also stay fit and healthy. This is it. So, any question, David? Do you think that is easy? Do you think that you can write it or not?
Yes, this part is easy. I don't question much.
No questions, okay? So, that is essentially what an essay has. The first paragraph, the introduction, paragraphs number 2 and 3. In paragraph number 2, you are going to express the real information, all the facts that you know about the topic. And in paragraph number 3, remember you can contrast. Make a contrast, maybe what are the positive effects and the negative effects. And finally, for sure, your personal opinion and conclusion about the topic. Usually, let me show you here. In the Cambridge exam, you're gonna be given a topic. You're gonna be given a topic. You're gonna express, for sure, you're gonna write the essay and express your point of view about that topic. For example, schools are responsible for teaching young people all the skills they need to stay fit and healthy. Do you agree? Schools are responsible for teaching young people all the skills they need to stay fit and healthy. Do you agree? And remember, you have to write in your personal opinion. I agree because schools or the education is the most important key. Or you may tell me, no, teacher, I disagree because I believe that the education must come from home rather than schools. Okay? Yes or no, David?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, perfect. So let me share you now my link. Are you using your cell phone or a tablet or your computer?
In my tablet.
Your tablet. Okay, is it easy for you to write on the tablet? I think yes, right? It's not a big deal.
No, yes.
Okay, so let me share you now the link where you're gonna write an essay, okay? Hold on. Wait, because I got a problem here. I'm trying to share you this now, okay? Yeah, wait a minute, please. I just got a problem here, but here you are, an essay. Okay, it seems like it's not working, but don't worry, okay? I guess we can do it here. I guess that's gonna be better, okay? All right. So David, I don't know what happened. I just couldn't open the link, but don't worry, you can write it here on the chat box. Okay. So what is the idea? You're gonna write your essay in 140 and 190 words. Remember, you have to divide it in the 4 paragraphs: introduction, facts, contrast, and for sure, the last paragraph where you express your point of view, your personal opinion. So, what is the topic about? There are lots of things governments could do to help deal with environmental problems. Do you agree? There are lots of things governments could do to help deal with environmental problems. Do you agree? So in your essay you're going to write about pollution, costs, and what is your personal opinion? What do you think about this? Okay, David, you are supposed to do this in 30 minutes. Any question?
No, teacher. The link is the chat.
Sure, here on the chat box, because I don't know, the link is not working. I think it's better on the chat box, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And remember, David, don't use ChatGPT. I know you may tell me, but teacher, it's very easy to use ChatGPT. Remember, when you take your international exam, you don't have ChatGPT, no Gemini, no any artificial intelligence, okay?
Okay, teacher.
So everything must come from here, okay? What you know, what you remember about this topic.
Okay.
Okay, you start. Hey, hey, good morning or almost afternoon. Osmel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. It's
Hey,
actually.
how you doing?
Yes,
What happened?
yesterday I had a problem with my connection. Yes, and I have to go out for issue from the job. Yes, the presentation. I just been late. Yes, but I have I kept this my problem at the institute, but they don't answer me. Yes,
Okay, so are you working right now? I didn't get that part.
no, I'm free.
You're free. Okay, sure. Because, well, your voice is not so clear. I thought it was a problem with the connection, maybe, but yeah. Yeah, Osmel, I guess that you remember that last week we did this activity. I guess that you remember we identify what are the parts of an essay. And today we were doing this activity with David. So we're going to wait until he finishes and we continue to the next part after the break. Okay.
Yes, of course.
Do you remember, Osmel, what are the parts of an essay?
The part of the say is the ensayo, no? The part of the ensayo.
Exactly. What are the parts? What are the parts? How many parts is the essay divided?
Dividing in three. Yes, the introduction, develop, and the end, and the conclusion, maybe.
Excellent. The last part,
Yes,
remember, it's more like your opinion, right?
yes, of course. Yeah.
Okay, super. So right now, let's wait until David finishes and we can continue to the next, okay? Sure. So let's wait, let's wait.
What is the activity? Create a essay with
Mm,
this topic.
yeah, we're doing the essay about this, okay? About environmental problems and the things the governments could do to help deal with these problems.
About the notes, write about pollution, cost. Yeah, okay. Yes, I got it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, nice. So, David, tell me, was it easy, difficult? I think you got it well. So let's read, okay? Let's read together. Let me share the whole screen and let me give you a feedback, some recommendations. Tell me, David, easy, difficult, how was it?
It is more or less. In some parts is difficult, in some parts is easy because uh, I need to learn more vocabulary for this part.
Okay, more vocabulary, that's what you need, right?
Yes.
So let's see, okay? Yeah. The environmental problem, it's a great problem. And the environmental problem, it's a great problem. Well, I think whenever we have these kind of things, it is better to, well, try to avoid like use and overuse the same word in the same sentence, okay? It's a great, so we can use a synonym for problem, we can use issue, okay? The environmental problem, it's a great issue that governments have these days. This problem is all over the world, está en todo el mundo, is all over the world, and affects too many people in their health or in normal activities. In their health or in normally activities. In this case, don't think we need to use an adverb. Because normalmente, actividades. No, only normal activities, okay? All over the world and affects too many people in their health or normal activities. The pollution is the most important problem. Okay, we can say instead of the most important, the greatest, or the hardest problem, maybe. But I believe, let's read, okay? Let's read to see if it makes sense. The pollution is the most important problem because today, for the generation of energy, and because today, okay, the pollution is the most important problem because today, I guess that instead of for, we should use due. Due to the generation of energy, debido a, right? I guess that this is the word that you try to use, right? Or the idea, because due to the generation of energy has grown significantly in recent years, and using the oil cars is very big. I get a problem with this part. Using the oil cars is very big. What do you mean with this? Using the oil cars.
El uso de carros a gasolina.
Okay. I guess it is better to say, okay, in recent years, and the use
Okay.
of, okay, here we get a redundant, and the use of cars fueled by oil. I guess it is better to say like that, because if you say oil car, electric car, oil car, carros de gasolina, it's not common to say in English oil car, okay? Not like oil car, carro gasolina, okay?
Okay.
So let's continue. The factories generate emissions of carbon dioxide like cars, okay? There's no need to say more like the cars, just like cars. The governments should check the factories or car that produce much pollution and put stricter laws. Instead of put, I guess it is better to say set stricter laws. And of this form, and de esta forma, I guess that is the way that you try to say it, right? De esta forma, and produce and set stricter laws. So they prompt, because de esta forma, this way they prompt. Okay, another way to say like this, so or this way. This way, they prompt the use of renewable energy or clear energy. Energía clara, energía limpia. I guess that you mean clean, right?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, very good. The cost to apply these things can be high, but it is good for the environment. And our cost, why do we have a period here? I guess our cost will be higher if the government don't invest, because if we use in singular, we should use doesn't because it's singular. Will be higher if the government doesn't invest in this topic. But you remember that also help reduce the pollution for using other means of transport, for example, bicycle, electric vehicle, or to walk if the distance is short. That will help to reduce the pollution and take care of the environment. Excellent. The last part, it's really nice because you are giving your conclusion, your own ideas in order to reduce this, in order to reduce pollution, which I believe they are really great advices for that. Well, congratulations. I think, David, that you have good vocabulary. Congratulations. But I believe that there are some words. What happens whenever we are writing? I tell you this because it usually happens to me as well. I usually translate. But you're going to realize that some expressions can't be translated like literally. Like, for example, of this way. De esta manera, ¿no? Of this matter, of this way. Remember, it is better to say this way. De este modo, de esta forma, de esta forma, okay? This way. This way, they prompt the use of renewable energy. But in the rest, I think that you got a good vocabulary. Just also with the structure is good. You got the introduction. You got the facts, the information about it, what we know about it. And for sure, like a contrast. Obviously, right? It's difficult to change from one day to other. Let's suppose that tomorrow we decide to say, no, we're going to use only electric cars. It's not that easy, okay? Obviously, it requires like a really big investment, but the idea is to do this like gradually. Okay, so congratulations. That's a nice essay, and you got the minimum words, 168. Sure, David, what about you? Hello, Gina. Good afternoon. Hello, Gina.
Hi, teacher. How are you?
Hi, nice to see you. Tell me, Gina, what happened? I guess I haven't seen you in 2 weeks.
Sure. Yes, I have a work.
Okay, you told me that currently you're working at the airport.
Yes. The horario, the timeline.
Okay. So how are like the shifts? What's your schedule?
I am in check-in.
Yeah, like are you working in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening?
It depends the week.
So it's rotative schedule.
Yes, I have sometimes at the afternoon, that morning, or in the madrugada.
Okay, at night, short?
Yes, at night. And one day I take off, other day no. It depends how the coordinator does the schedule.
Oh my gosh, okay. So probably that was the reason why you haven't been able to join. But anyway, Gina, let me explain you a little bit. What were we doing? We were completing the second part of the exam that is all about writing. Okay? And the first exercise is to write an essay.
Okay.
Sure. What's the point with this? Remember, the essay is usually written with real information. If you compare to a story, if you compare to emails, usually you're going to use fiction information, doesn't have to be real. But in the case of the essay, it's usually real information. That's what we got to know about the essay and how this is divided. Remember, only in 4 paragraphs. Okay, the first one is like an introduction, like a brief review about this. The second part, for sure, you're going to present real information or facts about that topic, about pollution, about costs. The next paragraph as well, remember, you are going to express facts, or you can also give some contrasts. And the last part, it's your personal opinion, your personal view. Got it?
I have to do it right now.
And not right now, because actually it is moment for a break. Yeah, after the break, we're going to continue with the next part. So don't worry, okay? You don't have to do it right now. It is moment for a break. Okay. So David, Osmel, and Gina, we're going to have a break right now. We're going to have 15 minutes. Your essay is very serious, very fluent. So let's read it, okay? Sure. So what governments can do to help the environment? Okay, so can you help me? Can you read, please, Osmel? Can you read the first paragraph? Let's go one by one, okay?
Yes, I have to read the first. Yes. Just read, yeah?
Yeah, just read, and I'm going to tell you if there are some things that you should correct, okay?
Yes, today many countries have big environment problems, and I think the governments can't do anything to help. In my opinion, it's important they take action because this problem affects everybody and can get worse in the future.
Okay, I guess here we got just a little grammar mistake. It's these problems, okay, because it's plural, okay? And governments, I guess we need an N here, governments. Yeah,
Yes,
just a
it's
little
government.
mistake. Yeah, with N, governments. Governments.
Government.
Exactly.
Government. Yeah.
Government, that's it. Because these problems affect everybody and can get worse in the future. Can get worse in the future. Okay, if you're talking about future possibilities, I think, Osmel, it is better to use may or might.
Make or might.
Exactly, because you're talking about a future possibility.
Yes. Yes. Might get worse in the future, yeah.
Very good, okay. Yeah, let's continue. Can you tell me now what is the information that you know about this? Read, please, the second paragraph.
Yes, first, pollution is a serious issue in big cities. Usually, yeah. The government can create more green parks and improve public transport, but sometimes they don't do it enough. Also, many cars and buses are very old and make too much smoke. So they are become more dirty and people can get sick. Or in this case, might get sick as well, yeah. If the city controls this better, the air will be cleaner.
Exactly. You realize that you got a mistake here. It's may, right?
Yes.
And people
It's
may
may,
get
okay.
sick. And I believe the comparative here is not so good as well. I guess for dirty, it's dirtier.
Dirtier, yes.
Yeah, so the
More
air becomes
dirtier.
dirtier.
Yes, a cough. Dirtier. This is a comparative, yeah. Dirtier.
Exactly. If the city controls this better, the air will be cleaner. If the city controls this better, if there's a better control of this, better control this better, si lo controla mejor. Yeah, I guess this is correct. I'm not so sure somehow if the city controls this better, because you're talking that there should be, right, a better control over buses and cars that are old. But in general, I think this is also right. Another point is the cost. Okay, can you read? Can you continue the next paragraph?
Yes, another point is the cost. Many people say that protecting the environment is too expensive, but I don't agree completely. If the government invests in solar or wind energy, it will be more cheap later. They might also help families to recycle or save energy in the homes. Yes.
Okay, so I guess you got a problem with comparatives because here you got confused as well,
Yes.
right? It should be cheaper, okay?
Should be cheaper. Yeah.
It will be cheaper later. They can also help families to recycle or save energy in their homes. Okay, rather to say in their homes, remember at home. Because at home is in general, okay? At
General.
home,
Just
in
home.
casa, at
Yeah.
home. No matter if you're talking in singular or
Or
plural,
in their
remember at
homes,
home.
no? Energy in their homes or no?
But if you use this, it should be correct. Yeah, it is also a possibility in their homes, en sus casas. But I believe sounds more natural to say at home, to recycle or save
Yes.
energy at home, in casa. If you say at home, you say in general. But yeah, in their homes, it's also possible, okay?
Yes, okay.
My own idea, my point of view, my own idea, mi idea propia. It sounds like redundant. My own idea, mi
Redundant.
propia idea.
My idea. It's just my idea.
Yeah, sure, my
Or
idea.
my point of view.
In my view, in my opinion, let's see.
Yes.
In my opinion, is that, in my opinion, instead of saying is that, in my opinion, the government should give more education about the environment when people learn. And what happened here? I
Yes,
guess
my
it's
idea is the
incomplete.
government should give more education about the environment when the people is learning. Yes, I think in this when people is I think that the government have to include this topic when the people is learning from the school. Yes, when so at the
Mhm,
child maybe at the teenager maybe.
mhm.
I want to say that yes, but it's very incomplete maybe. I
Yeah.
didn't copy. Yes, yes.
So maybe it's incomplete this part. So let's help
Yes,
Osmel to complete that, okay? In my opinion, the government should give more education about the environment. When people is learning, or when
yes,
people learn, not is learning because it could be continuous, when people learn
yes.
about
About
this
this topic,
topic,
about yeah, when they are at the school. Yes,
mhm, at
yeah, it's
school,
more yeah,
mhm.
better.
When people learn about this topic at school, they create more conscious, más conciencia, conscious
Yeah,
about the importance
from
of
the educator, the teacher. Yeah,
mhm, of saving or helping the environment. Okay, they can create more conscious about the importance of helping the environment. I guess, yeah, the idea was incomplete, but I believe that's what you meant. Or do you have any other idea, Osmel? Because I
no,
think
this
that
is the
you're
idea.
talking about education. So this is what came
Yes,
to my mind.
yes, this is the idea.
Okay, sure. Excellent. So I think that you're good. I don't think that you don't have any other questions about essays. Any question? Tell me, David. Tell me, Gina. Tell me, Osmel. Is it clear the way that you're gonna write? The way that you're gonna write an essay?
No, any question?
Osmel, no. Gina, tell me, Gina.
And just one, we have to do an essay at the exam.
Yes, for the final exam, remember, you're going to write the essay, and the idea is that you do it all by yourself in approximately, gotta tell you, 40 minutes.
For the essay, just.
Sorry, can you come again?
Just for the essay, we have 40 minutes.
Exactly, 40 minutes for the essay and 40 minutes for the 80. Let me think about it. So in total, we have 1 hour and a half. Let me think, because yeah, the writing section is just divided in 2 parts, but let me check this information so I tell you the right one, okay? 1 hour and 30 minutes. Sure. So 40 minutes for the essay and 40 minutes for the next exercise, okay?
Okay.
Sure. Do you think 40 minutes is enough, Gina, or no?
Yes, I guess. How many words?
Yeah, remember, and you are supposed to write it between 140 and 190 words.
Okay.
Sure. Remember, no ChatGPT, no Gemini, no artificial intelligence. Everything must come from here. You are supposed to write it with all the ideas, with all the vocabulary that you got here. Okay? That's why right now we are doing this preparation. We are writing with the knowledge that we know, for sure. But remember, you have to do it all by yourself. All by yourself, so no help, no ChatGPT, nothing at all. Everything must come from here. Okay? Perfect. So let's continue to the second part. And the second part of the writing exam, let me share it now. Okay, the second part of the essay, the second part of the writing exam, remember, the first part is the essay, and the second part you have to choose. You have to choose between these options. It could be either an article, a letter, a review, a report, or a story. Only one. Remember, you have these 5 options, but you only have to choose one. An article, a letter, an email, a review, a report, or a story. What is the difference if you compare to the first part? As I told you before, the essay must contain real information, but the review, the story, the article doesn't have to be specifically real. It may be fiction. It doesn't have to be real. It may be fiction as well. So article, letter, email, review, report, or story. In your opinion, I'm going to ask each one of you. I'm going to start with David. Tell me, in your case, David, which do you consider is the easiest for you? Have you ever written an article, an email, a review, a report, or a story?
For me, a letter, teacher.
A letter. Okay. I think a letter is easy, right?
Yes,
But
yes.
David, was with real information, or was it like a fiction letter?
The fiction.
Fiction. I think that is easier, right? Because when you write with your imagination, it is better. Doesn't have to be real information. You can use your imagination to create it. Okay. What about a review? Haven't you written a review? Review, the translation to Spanish could be as como reseña. Reseña, opinión, review. David, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Jean as well, tell me, have you ever written a review?
Yes, but just for the university.
Just for the university, but using real information, or was it fiction?
No real information.
Okay. And what about a story? Gina, have you ever written a story?
Yes, when I was about 16 15 to 19 years, I like to read a lot, and I started to write a story, a
Okay.
book, but
Oh, yeah.
I didn't finish.
Okay, but fiction, right? I guess everything was fiction.
Yes, everything fiction.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, in my personal case, I like or I prefer writing a story because when it comes out of a story or an email, you only gotta use your imagination. Remember, it doesn't matter if you're writing a story about, well, fairies, you're writing a story about animals. Remember, what is important here is your imagination, and according to what you know, according to what you imagine, you can create it. In the case of article, in the case of report, this is not fiction at all. Article and fiction, they are usually about real information, okay? So remember, you have to choose. You have to choose one of them. Not the five of them. Remember, you only choose one. That's your decision. That's what you think, what you consider is the easiest for you, and for sure, the better for you. That's what you gotta write in part number 2. So let's suppose, I need you to think, let's suppose that tomorrow is the exam. In your case, David, tell me what? What would you prefer? Article, letter, review, report, or story?
I prefer a story.
Story, okay. And what about you, Gina? In your case, let's suppose that you have the exam tomorrow. Do you prefer report, story, email, article, or review?
No, yes, a story too.
Story as well. Excellent. So let's go with that. We're going to do this activity right now. Okay, right now we are going to create a story. So how? Let me move a little bit. Okay, so usually, let me put it over here. This is what you are supposed to write. Okay, this is an example of a Cambridge exam. Write a story. What you gotta do? Pay attention, and here you are. We're looking for stories for our English magazine for young people. Your story must begin with this sentence. When Max opened the letter, he was so excited that he started dancing around the room. When Max opened the letter, he was so excited that he started dancing around the room. Okay, it seems like there was a little printing problem here. So, what you gotta do? That is the beginning of your story. After that, you are supposed to continue developing. And remember, the idea is that your story must include a journey or a meeting. Let's suppose that we have Max right now. When Max opened the letter, he was so excited that he started dancing around the room. So let's write about it. Let's suppose that it's about a journey. I'm going to start with the first part. And remember, the idea is that you develop your ideas, use your imagination to talk about it, okay? When Max opened the letter, he was so excited that he started dancing around the room. He was really pleased to know that he will travel to Mexico, a journey to Mexico next month. And then remember, develop your idea. In my case, I suppose that he was accepted at the dance academy in the capital city of Mexico? Remember, use your imagination, but you tell me, teacher, what? What if I don't want to make it that it's a dance academy? What if I want to talk about engineering? You can say like that, okay? He was accepted at the engineering college of Monterrey. Remember, in this case, there's no limit. There is no limit. Your imagination is the limit. If you want to talk about a story that is if you want to talk a story about that is engineering, dancing, swimming, whatever you want. Remember, you are the one who decides what you want to write about. Journey, meeting. Remember, but the idea is that you include these elements. Okay, any question? Tell me, David, any question?
No question, teacher.
No questions? What about you, Gina?
No. O sea, we have to make a story about that paragraph.
Exactly, right? That is the introduction of your story. And after that, you develop your ideas. Okay? And for sure, following the instruction, the story must include a journey. It doesn't have to be a journey to Mexico. It could be to any country. The story must contain a meeting. For example, he had a meeting with the principal of the school. But remember, you have to include that. Okay? Yes. So let's get ready right now because we're going to use artificial intelligence. Just wait a second as I share, but let me see if it works, okay? Exactly. Remember, your story must begin with the one that with the first sentence, and after that, you develop your idea, okay? Yeah, please, I need you to open the next link. And here you got an example, but you may tell me, teacher, here I only got 100 words. All right, here it is. Story, rain stopping. Your English teacher has asked you to write a story. Your story must begin with this sentence. Kelly opened the door and was happy to see that the rain had stopped. So what you gotta do? You are supposed to write your story in about 100 words. But remember, your story must begin with this sentence. Kelly opened the door and was happy to see that the rain had stopped. But you tell me, teacher, 100 words? Now remember, that is for B1. In the case of B1, you are supposed to write 100 words. In the case of B2, it's kind of similar between 100 and 190 words. Okay, any question, David? Any question, Gina?
Any question, teacher?
Yeah, is the link working, David? Could you open the link?
Yes, teacher.
Excellent. So here when you see write your text here, you're going to start writing your story. So the story must be about Kelly. Kelly opened the door and was happy to see that the rain had stopped. She had planned to travel. Yeah, and you continue, okay? She had planned to travel to Puyo, and the road is very dangerous whenever it's raining, okay? Sure, remember, you gotta continue writing the story, but remember, the story must begin with this sentence. What about you? Tell me, Gina, in question, is the link working or no?
Yes, teacher, but I am trying to put in the computer.
Okay. Are you using the computer or the cell phone?
The cell phone, but now I open the computer to do the.
I think it's better in the computer, right? Because in the computer, you got a keyboard and it's easier to write.
Yes.
Okay.
But now we have to start with Kelly, not with Max.
Exactly, with Kelly. This story is all about Kelly. No Max. The Max was the example that I gave you, but now it's all about Kelly, okay?
Okay. We have to put on a start timer or just write.
No, no, just right. You are supposed to do this in 40 minutes or 30 minutes. So don't worry, okay? You don't have to click on here.
Okay.
Yeah, we are supposed to finish by 1:30. Okay, so we got 30 to 40 minutes, okay? Okay, you tell me when you finish, David, Gina, and that's going to be all for today, okay? We still have 5 more minutes, okay?
I finished, teacher.
You finished, David? Okay, can you share me your screen, please? Let me stop sharing.
Okay. Mm, One moment, please.
Okay, okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, let's see the reading. Okay, very good. According to this, well, as I said before, the idea is that you write more than 140 words. That's why here, as you can see, the artificial intelligence sets you that you got an A2 level because probably you need to write more words. Okay, so let's see. Kelly opened the door and was pleased to see that it had stopped raining. She had planned to travel to Puyo for visiting her parents. She had planned. I guess in this case the mistake is planned is with double N. Yeah, sí puedes corregirle, ¿no? You can correct it now. Sería ahí planned, double N. She has planned to travel to Puyo for visiting her parents. A sus padres, no her parents. That is the possessive, her. Excellent. She had lived in Quito since she was 21 years old. She hasn't seen, I guess here is right, but you forget to write the apostrophe. That's why it marks you as incorrect. Excellent. She hasn't seen her parents. To their parents, no. Her parents sería, no había visto a sus padres, her parents. Excellent. Single two, no two, only her. She hasn't seen her parents. Excellent since that moment. She's excited today due to she has been waiting for this day for a long time. She's excited. Ella está emocionada. I guess in this case it with ed, okay? Excited. Also, Kelly's parents are excited. Are excited. In this case, are because it's plural. Are excited for seeing. You forget to write one more E. For seeing their daughter. Ahí sí sería el possessive their daughter, ¿no? A su hija de ellos, their daughter. Excellent. She has 3 boilers. In that moment, she went to buy the tickets for traveling that same afternoon. I guess it's correct. I guess it marks you as incorrect because in British English, traveling goes with double L. Okay. Arriba, traveling sería con doble L. Pero es solo es cuestión de British English versus American English. También es correcta sin L, ¿ok? Pero como este es de Cambridge, es British English. She's packing her things for the travel, for the journey. Ya, aquí travel usarlo como sustantivo sería mejor journey. journey. She bought gifts for her family because she loves them. Aquí sería el object pronoun, them, con la M al final, them. Yeah, and David, we need more words, okay? Remember, 100 palabras, 100 words, nos va a marcar como un nivel B1, B1. The idea is that we add more, that we get between 140 and 190. Okay?
Okay, teacher.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, y fuimos subiendo, we improved. Kelly's parents. ¿Por qué te marca incorrecto ahí? Creo que ese de ahí no es el apostrophe. Creo que por eso. I believe that's the reason.
Yes, this is my keyboard, teacher.
Kelly's parents are excited for seeing their daughter. Are excited. Yeah, okay. Necesitamos añadirle más palabras, okay? Puedes pensar, you can think. She's planning to go to the river. She's planning to go to the waterfall. Remember, try to add more words. Use your imagination. Okay?
Okay, teacher.
Super. And Gina, okay, you finished, Gina. Can you share me your screen, please?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sure I can. Go, please. Can you share me your screen?
¿Cómo hago? Compartir.
Sure. Yeah, the document, the link that I share you. Wait a minute, it's sharing. Sure. Oh my gosh. So 214 words. You were really inspired. Congratulations. So click on the check button. Bájale, damos clic al botón check.
Solo que estaba borrando para. I was borrow.
Erasing.
I was erasing for get
Some words.
less words.
It's not a big deal if you overpass. If you overpass the words, no problem. If you write less, that's the problem, okay? So it's 19, like a tolerance of 20 words, no problem, okay? It's normal, 214 words, it's right.
Yeah.
Excellent, okay. So continue to feedback. And let's check, okay? According to this, you got a level down, abajo, abajo, B1. Okay, so maybe we need to improve some things. She had planned, I remember it's with double N. She had planned, double N. Yeah, puedes editarle, you can edit it here. Excellent, she had planned to travel to Puyo. And finally, she could start to do the packing. She called her boyfriend. There's no need to say to, okay? Only she called her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Tom, to confirm the journey. Remember, a travel, it's for verb. For noun, it is better journey. El viaje, not journey. He was expected. Journey, no I, solo la E y la Y, journey. La E next to the E, journey. No, journey. Al revés, primero la I, luego la Y, journey.
Journey.
Excellent, journey. He was expected about her decision because he had a surprise for her. Excellent. Then, y luego, Tom had to wait for Kelly at the Puyos. Terminal is not a word in English, at the Puyos bus station. Okay, bus station. Until, till is good, but remember that the right word is until.
But I can use till.
You can use till, but you gotta use the apostrophe. Till. I guess it's like this with double L. Till.
Okay.
Yeah. until he started to the preparations. I guess it's with preparations, preparations for the surprise. He had listened to her to told in some occasions the stories about the ayahuasca ritual. Excellent. So for her birthday, he get a meeting, una reunión, a meeting, como un, he got a meeting, with double E, no double T, double E, double E, meeting. Ahí está, okay, there it is. So he got a meeting for her with an old shaman who was going to guide her into the ritual. Now we just had to wait for her arrive. Excellent, this is correct. Kelly just arrived at the terminal, not to the terminal. Kelly just arrived at the terminal, at the bus station. And the first thing she saw, remember, everything is in past, so the verb see must be in past. So the first thing that she saw.
I had a question about that.
Tell me.
Want to the first thing was in past and the second in present.
Usually the stories are supposed to be in past. But for example, you're trying to say the first part in past and the second in present?
Yes, like she arrived and is in the present that she arrived.
Okay, so in that case, we would say she arrives. Kelly arrives. Entonces ahí tendríamos que colocarle todo el párrafo en present, ¿no? She arrives on the bus station and the first thing she sees, sería con ese, she sees. Excellent, is her boyfriend. El tú, no need to write to, okay? Is her boyfriend. With roses, and next to him, there is an old man with a long braid, and traditional wear, waiting for her. Waiting, I guess it needs waiting.
I see.
Okay. Waiting for her. She looks confused. She looks confused with ed, sería confused, confundida. But immediately Tom tells her about the surprise that made Kelly happy. Perfect, this is right. They arrived to the temple located in the jungle. It was a long road, but finally they can see that beautiful place. They arrived in, remember in Spanish we say no, arriban a, but in English the preposition is at or in. En este caso sería they arrive at the temple. No el to, remove to. They arrive at, y el the sí estaba bien, ¿no? At the temple, al templo, at the temple, located in the jungle. It was a long road, but finally they can see that beautiful place. So then Kelly say goodbye to Tom. So now she will have her own experience in the jungles of the Amazon. Excellent. So let's see. Check again. Vamos a darle clic a check. And remember the power of Puyo. That was my idea, but both of you, you continue with the idea. So amazing. That means that you got it well. Excellent. I guess you got it well. ¿Cuál te marca ahí incorrecto? Déjame ver. Immediately. Immediately is with double M. Immediately. Not with M, sino double M. Immediately.
M.
Sin la N, solo doble M, double M. Immediately. Excellent. Y el otro que te marca dice.
Told.
She had listened her.
No es tú, es solo told.
Told. She had listened heard. A ver, él había escuchado que ella le contó historias. O decir.
Sí, o sea, Él le escuchó a ella contar historia.
Okay, he had listened her tell stories on some occasions about the ayahuasca ritual. I guess that only told. Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
I put
Ahora
okay.
sí. Y creo que la coma, te marca mal también la coma, pero creo que es solamente un problemita ahí, ¿no? Just a little problem en el space. Que creo que falta o está un espacio de más.
Mm,
Excellent. Sí, mira, te marca mal la coma, pero no sé por qué. I don't know why. The coma.
where?
Ahí dice, tell her about the surprise, coma, that made Kelly happy. Sí, creo que no sería la coma ahí, ¿no? Tense, but immediately Tom tells her about the surprise that made Kelly happy. Excellent. Sí, sería una sola, no one only idea. Yeah,
Okay.
perfect. Ahí sí, super. Gina, we got a level B2. Ahí sí llegamos al B2. Congratulations. That means that you're ready to take the final exam. Okay?
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Listo, chicos, entonces, let me stop sharing and let me stop recording.